Good evening, everyone. It is August 10th in the evening, and I wanted to make a quick video regarding both the transportation index and gold. Earlier today, I saw a tweet by Helen Meisler, who pointed out that the transports had been up 9 days in a row. Of course, 9 days in a row has a whole separate meaning in using DeMark indicators. And as you can see here, the IYT, which I'm using as the proxy for the transports, today has in fact printed a TD cell setup 9 right here. What is even more interesting though is that this completes a much more meaningful pattern, which is the 9-13-9 pattern. Meaning that there has been a cell setup 9 right here, a completed 13 countdown cell, and then another TD cell setup, all within the time frames that these indicators are supposed to trigger within. And having this type of 9-13-9, it is a lot more meaningful than just having a simple cell setup, especially when the 9-13-9 is clean. And what is meant by clean is that the three counts, the first 9, the 13, and the second 9, as you can see here, never overlap. There are many instances of overlapping 9-13-9s, and they're not quite as effective. But when you find a clean pattern like this, it's worth paying attention. So since this is the daily chart and it caters more to the nimble traders, to see if this 9-13-9 is in fact signaling something bigger to the downside, it's worth looking at the charts also on the weekly and monthly time frames. Going to the weekly, it actually looks still somewhat bullish. It's only on bar 6 of a sell setup, although it is approaching the TDST level up, which in more common terms can be viewed as the trend line. So, excuse me. Intuitively, there should be pardon me, there should be some resistance here around 198.90. Adding to the bearish case is the monthly chart. What you see here is that there has already been a bar 12 of a sell countdown right here. So the countdown cell 13 pattern simply needs a stab to the closing price of bar 8, which in this case is at 203.77. Even if it's an intraday touch of that price, that will complete the countdown cell 13. So having a completed pattern like this on a monthly time basis, together with a 9-13-9 on the daily basis and the weekly chart approaching TDST level up, they all sort of come together to suggest that the IYT may be running into some very serious resistance, and those long the ETF or other proxies for it may want to start thinking about protecting their long positions. Now let me switch to gold very quickly because there is a very similar pattern developing there. I will use the, pardon me here. I will use the XAU as the proxy for gold. And I will go straight to the monthly chart. And then we will look back at the weekly and the daily. Here, you see what, unless you're a gold bug, may be a rather ominous pattern, meaning that there is a clean 913.9 about to print. The first 9 is right here, the 13 is right here, and we're on bar 8 of the second 9. So there's about another month and a half or so during which, unless there is a complete collapse in price, a major exhaustion signal to the upside could print. Also, the secondary exhaustion line for the countdown cell 13 was set at 1573.85 here. That clearly gave way, but as you can tell from the dotted line, the break was never qualified. And that should always be a little bit of a yellow flag as far as how sustainable the run can be above the secondary exhaustion. Now, obviously here, gold has had a massive run, but the non-qualified nature of this break, together with the almost complete 913.9 on a monthly basis, again, could be signaling that the run for gold that began back in 2015 may be getting close to the end. Scaling back down to the weekly time frames to try to fine-tune what's going on. Here again, there is a still active countdown cell 13. The secondary exhaustion level has been broken, but not on a qualified basis. And just last week, there was another TD cell setup 9 printed. Again, if you were following what I was suggesting about clean 913.9 patterns, this is probably one of many examples where you have a 9, a 13, another 13 here, and then a 9, but all these counts somewhat overlap. So the meaning, the significance of this particular setup is not as strong. And lastly, let me just go down for giggles to the daily time frame. And here you see there is an active 13 that printed a few days ago. Price again busted through the secondary exhaustion. The level has not been the break of the level has not yet been qualified. So this again should be viewed as somewhat suspect. So putting the 3 time frames together, there is definitely some exhaustion here on the daily time frame. There is a very, very ominous clean 913.9 on the monthly time frame, and on the weekly time frame, there is also a active cell an active TD cell setup 9. I hope this helps, and I will talk to you guys soon.